Hey, hey, what's up, everybody? Good morning. We're on Saturday, March the 16th. March the 16th. All right, so welcome to the NDA Podcast. My name is Rob D, or aka Sketchcraft, and this is where I draw. I work on professional projects and stuff I can't share, and because I can't share, so I like to stream and hang out with you folks. So while I'm working here on my NDA stuff, behind me will be playing some artwork I did in the past that I've sped up, usually four times the speed, so you can see the whole thing, and it just plays on a loop while I work. So today we're going to be doing part 3 of the Sonic the Hedgehog color pencil. The first 2 are up, and I'm going to rotate through these throughout the months. You know, I got a bunch of videos, 10 years worth of videos to get through, so it'll make an appearance again, but I'm going to go ahead and switch to Little Rob. We'll go Little Rob, right? There I am. There's Little Rob. And then we're going to put up Sonic. There we go. There is Sonic. And that's just going to play. If you want to know, I did all this in Polychromos color pencil as part of a pretty intricate commission for my, it was commissioned. And it was a triptych, so Knuckles would have been on the left and Tails would have been on the right. The final piece is out there. It's on my webpage, sketchcraft.com. It's also up in my DeviantArts, all that other stuff. And so the hardest part of this was actually the background, because trying to keep it clean and get all that color pencil coverage. I think I should have just done the background of marker, like very flat marker, and then added some color pencil over it. Now that I look back on this process, the background I probably should have done that way, but I wanted to have that nice soft color pencil look throughout the whole thing, and so it just ate up time. So yes sir. All right, I'm gonna get to work. I'm currently drawing Spawn Kills Every Spawn, coming out this summer, from Tom McFarlane. And if you'd like to support me now, I also have a video game up on the Nintendo store called Berserk Boy. You'll see my art sitting right there, right on the store page. The cover art, do a lot of the art in the interior game, kind of helped out in all sorts of ways, so it is there to go. Oh my goodness. All right. Turn that off. I've got to burn some new videos tonight. Oh, this one. And turn that on. Hey, what's up, Adam? Adam says, wow, you are amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Very kind. Adam coming to us from YouTube. Trying to get that up. Trying to get our subs and views back up on YouTube since the Adpocalypse used to get 4,000 views, and Adpocalypse happened, went down to 400 views. So maybe one day I'll get that back up. You never know. You never know. Hey, Bitterfrost, you're back. What's up? What's up? Currently drawing a big 2-page spread. I'm at the tail end. I got this giant figure to put in. It's all blocked in. And I am recording it, so one day I will do a video here where we play through the video and talk. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, thanks, Adam. You know what? One of my plans to get around that was what you're seeing here, where when I can't make new art, we will stream speed versions of my older art behind me. And then hopefully in the next week or so, I'm trying to start a sketches at breakfast, you know? I got stuff I can physically draw, we can get together, and then maybe we can do like art to videos again, like perspective or color pencil or marker, blah, 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 blah. Until I can take commissions again, but I don't have the time for commissions right now. Definitely looking forward to doing that. Sup, Psycho? Sup, dude? Saturday mornings, I play Fortnite for a couple hours with friends that I have that live around the globe, you know? And it's the one game that anyone can play for free, so, you know, they were like, we like Fortnite. I'm like, all right, we played zero build. I don't do any of that, so. Mostly just me hanging out with my friends, playing like an arcade shooter, essentially. But, I'm really not good this season. They switched it up, and I was like, I mean, they switch it up every season, but this season I was like, I don't know, man. It's a lot of dodging sniper fire, and I'm just like, why I stopped playing Battlefield back in the day, 1942. When I say back in the day, 20 years ago, because it was like everyone was sitting around sniping. It's like, I'm not a big fan of that kind of gameplay. Hopefully, it chills out in a few weeks. We'll see. I want to play Helldivers too, but they all don't have PS5s. So, what can you do? I try to be the most flexible, you know. Because I like first one, different kind of game. So yeah, I mostly just play single player video games, but like I said, I get together with my friends. You know, it's the only way we can sort of keep in touch these days. People don't like to just talk on the phone, but they'll talk while they're on playing a video game. So it's like, all right, we'll do that. And I bought my ticket to go see Ghostbusters this week, so hopefully it's a fun movie. Not expecting the world's greatest film, just was it fun, you know? Did it not annoy me? That's what I'm hoping for with that one. Drawing teeth, and it's like, how much gum to teeth ratio do you need before something looks stupid? Much of Cars with Leo, sometimes they put too much gums on his characters, like the monsters. In my opinion. I didn't think it looked very good on Chewbacca. Adam says, before 5 years, I started to follow you when you drew Knuckles. Inspired me to go back to drawing then, and I'm still drawing. Oh, awesome! Yeah, that's when the Knuckles was part of this piece. Yeah, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, I enjoy drawing the Sonic characters. Super fun. I was a Sonic guy myself. I played the first game in September of '91 when it first came out. I was at my cousin's place, and her brother-in-law, her stepbrother, sorry, her stepbrother. He'd just come home from college And he bought the game new, you know, and I had never even heard of it. Just blew me away. Later that year, they would do the pack-in for Christmas, you know. I got that bundle. We did, of course, Sonic Tuesday and Sonic 3. I love Knuckles. Didn't like the backgrounds in Sonic 3. Get a different artist doing them. I preferred the polygonal, faceted design, the 3D-ness of the original first two games. But the game was good. I just didn't like the backgrounds. Sonic 3. Which is why I did a big polygonal tree on that piece. Really like Sonic Spinball. Small game, made by a very small crew, but really like it. Wish they'd done more with that. Adam, did you watch the movie? And if yes, are you excited for Sonic? I love the first Sonic movie. I came in there skeptical. It won me over. Was super excited for the second movie, but the second movie, I didn't like the musical score. I thought it was like way over the top of the film. I don't mean over the top, but it's like wasn't synced in with the movie, and everyone was like crazy. It kind of reminded me of like Turtles 2. I'm not a big fan of Turtles 2, so I was like, look, if he starts dancing, he does a ninja rap, I'm walking out. I'll watch this later. And they got to that snow hut, and he's doing the dance, and I'm like, I'm out of here. This one's not for Rob. So yeah, I didn't much like the second one, and I know I'm in the minority on that, but yeah. But it was like, I like Robotnik being over the top, but all of his henchmen can't be. They're all like trying to be Robotnik, you know. It's like, I like Jim Carrey as the Riddler in Batman Forever. It's not a genius film, but it has its merits. But Two-Face, Tommy Lee Jones trying to over the top Jim Carrey, not good, you know. But I think it's a solid kids film, you know. I'm not starting a campaign #not my Sonic. I mean, they have a chance. I like Knuckles. I thought Knuckles, the deadpanness was great. I was sticking with it, but just annoyed me after a while. I was like, I could watch this later. I probably would have done something where Robotnik in the very beginning of the film turns everyone on Earth into a bunny, or those, you know, they turn them into like creatures, you know what I mean? Like those bad creatures, the way when you know, Robotnik turns all the creatures like bunnies and stuff into, you know, monsters. That's what I mean, monsters. And then he's got to team up with the kid and everything to like unmonster the world kind of thing. probably where I would have gone. But if I was in that, if I was in the writer's room. There's not really a writer's room with screenwriters, but you know, you're doing like whiteboard ideas. I don't think it needs the live action part of the franchise. I think it could just be all CGI, and I'd be just as happy with it, you know. How do I solve this problem? Sometimes when you draw jaws sticking out in 3/4 perspective, especially when you're doing like real over-the-top animated characters, you have to find ways to make the other side of the jaw work. And usually it's not a big deal, because every now and then you've drawn a character with different kind of proportions and it just doesn't look right. How do I do this? When you're designing characters on the page, it's tough because you start to move them in different ways, and you're like, shucks, it didn't work out that right there. This is like a monster, so it's like, does everything have to be designed? Can I just figure it out on the page? That answer is yes, everything has to be designed, and no, you cannot. You're just not that good. Making do with the decision to figure it out on the page as I go along. Speaking of which, if you like Sonic, T-Lubs, who did the music for Sonic Mania, did the music for Berserk Boy! Available right now, as we speak, on the Nintendo Store and the Steam Shop, or Nintendo Shop and the Steam Store. His soundtrack's out right now too. You can just listen to that while you're doing something for free. Like, it's pretty dope. T-Lub's probably the best there is right now, in my humble opinion. Him and guys, dude. Yeah. I appreciate that, Psycho. Thank you. But I guess you can listen to the soundtrack now. Like, you just put that on while you play Sonic Frontiers or something. Better soundtrack than the one that's in the game, for certain. In my humble opinion. I love Sonic Mania. Love it. It was the Sonic 3 I always wanted, you know? I don't have one complaint. Everything I thought was great. The level design, the animations, everything. Music. Could have used some of Zoo's effects animation. Zoo does like the best effects animation. Vandikas, the only Sonic related thing I'm an absolute fan of are those great Eastern dolls you have. Okay. I love Sonic 1 and 2. I like Sonic 3. Love Sonic Mania. Love Sonic Spinball. Love Sonic Adventure 1 and 2. I was very skeptical of Sonic Adventure when it came out, but it won me over. I think that's it. The one on the 360 is fun now because you can play it overclocked and you get a full 60 frames per second. It's actually pretty good. It was just too slow back when it came out. If you have a chance to play it overclocked on modern hardware, I highly recommend you do. Tycho asked me, is that all of my art in Berserk Boy? It looks like it worked. Not sure if you only did some. I did all the stuff, and I did a lot of it, but there's a lot of the animated stuff is not me. They followed my designs, and then there's some extra cutscenes that were thrown in that I did not do. That was for time. I think like when Zoo finally got an extra budget, he got the chance to finish the game. It came right when I was working on Spawn, and the time frame that he needed it in, I could not meet. So he brought on some people to do some of that. So it's a little bit of a collaborative effort on that. How do I feel about Sonic CD? Love the cutscenes, and it's a good game. Yeah, but I didn't have a CD, Sega CD, when it came out, so I wasn't able to really enjoy it. I played it one time at my cousin Ricky. Cousin Ricky had a Sega CD, so I can't say I was able to spend a ton of time with it. The animated cutscenes, and it was a fun game, man. If there was a single reason to own a Sega CD, it would have been that and Shining Force, in my opinion. And Lunar, right? Was Lunar on Sega CD or was that Saturn? Lunar might have been Sega CD. Other than that, it was just full of junk. The Sega Sonic CD is good. It's just I didn't get to play much of it. I feel bad for people that have to like draw my designs. I don't make them easy, you know. But yeah, all the cover art is mine. Like all the cover art, you know, all that stuff is me. All like the head sprites in the game are me. Like I love to do a game where I do all the art, you know, but that requires a certain kind of budget that indie devs do not have at this moment, you know. Maybe at some point I'll be able to team up with someone and do that, you know. I would love to, for certain. But it'd have to be something like with Spine or something, because like I'm not much of a character animator, so it'd have to be something where it's like rigged animation, right? Where they rig up, kind of like Vanillaware, right? And Nicholas, I feel like there had to be a time when they asked to make those designs more simple. Not when I work, man. Not when I work. I go with what looks cool. Don't worry too much about that. That's just me. And to be honest, they weren't. The way I drew Berserk Boy wasn't intended. We didn't know we were gonna have animated intros. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like I was designing them with animation in mind. You know. There's a reason why it has that authentic 90s flair, because it's not simple. Speaking of simple, I simplified it too much. That's true. Today there's a lot of designs compromised for animation. Right. So, you know, don't know what to say. That's why I would prefer spine, where you sort of rig up the animation and then use the characters, the assets to do that. You know, if it were my call. How do I feel about X-Men 97? Looking forward to it, man. I'm a big 90s X-Men guy, you know. I've been looking forward to this for a couple years now since they first announced it. So, super excited. You know, I know they're doing second and third seasons, so I'm hoping we get a real Age of Apocalypse storyline at some point too. That would be freaking awesome. And look, when it comes to simplifying for animation, you know, when that cartoon first came out in '93, I was telling the story last night. I'm from San Diego, so you know, I used to go to Comic-Con every summer, and I went to, it was a '94 '95 Comic-Con, and they had an X-Men panel, or Fox Animation, Fox Kids, whatever. Panel, and I had asked, because I was like, hey, the animation seems stiff compared to the Batman animated series, like why is that? Because I was sort of a, you know, a bit of a rabble rouser when I was a kid, and they were like, yeah, you know, Batman does like 200-300 shots per episode, and we do 600-700 shots because it's a team and they have to constantly fight teams and multiple characters, so it's a complicated show to animate. And it doesn't change now just because it's, you know, 2024. Yeah. I mean, even then, they're complicated designs for animation. Normally, they would, you know, they would simplify those even further, but they, yeah, you know, looks great. And I love simplicity when it, you know, I'm a big fan of the Batman animated series and Batman New Adventures. You know, I love that stuff. It just depends on what it is. I just know my strengths lie in other areas. Animated but detailed. That's what I like to do the most. It's animated, but it's detailed. You know, what I prefer to make. You're just using the simple round brush. My brush right now that I mostly use for digital work is the same basic round brush, but I made a diamond shape. And I use it at 72% and flow at 77%. That's what I draw most of my stuff with. And then I have some inking brushes I'll lay on top of that when it's done to add an ink texture to it. But yeah, I mostly just use a basic round brush. It's just shaped like a diamond. Same one. Same settings. Allows me to give it that thick and thin look without actually applying a ton of pressure, just as the diamond shape. Diamond brush. All the Berserk Boy figures you see on the promo art in the store, right? The cover art, that was all drawn doing the diamond brush, and then inked with the diamond shaped ink brushes and stuff. I'll still use the round when I'm like sketching out organics and stuff like that. Sometimes the diamond brush can get in the way. But I mean, if you remember the Wildcats cartoon, it wasn't the best animation, but they did a good job of taking those Jim Lee designs and making them, you know, animation friendly. I thought whoever did the animation for the Youngblood like cartoon, the 8 seconds or whatever, the 2-minute thing that LIFO commissioned, I thought that was amazingly put together. Yeah. It's a shame that project never happened because I thought that looked great. Animated extremely well. You know, it simplified the designs, but it just still had that look. And yeah, I thought it was great. You've never seen it. I mean, I saw it at Comic-Con. I used to, like, the year Liefeld had it up on his TV screen. It was just playing on like a CRT up on the top of the Extreme booth. Must have watched it for like an hour. But it's on YouTube. Joseph says, lately a lot of my digital work has just been working with a simple round brush flat black because I seem like I spend a lot of my time with line working like this. I want to spend more time with it cut off. Yeah, that's why with the diamond brush I'm not spending much time. Construction, another choice. That makes a lot of sense. I tend, when I do my construction phase, I just use 100%. Like I'll blob in with the round brush or diamond, depending on what I'm feeling like. And then I do all my construction really quickly with the diamond. But I use 100%. I use 100%. So I blob in shapes and then draw over them. And then I refine the shapes in the phase like now. Like last night, I did all the block and construction and stuff. And then now I'm doing the detail. But I can't do both at the same time. I'm with you on that. Like some guys can just draw straight forward. I need to do a construction phase. And then when it's time to turn it on. But what I've tried to do was not do a construction phase and then a cleanup phase and then ink. So I use a diamond brush because for the cleanup phase, because then what I'll do in Photoshop, I'll set adjustment layers up that clamp down those lines so they look like they're inked, right? And then on top of that, I use my inking brushes that have all the texture and the different tricks to give it that, you know, sort of, I say somewhere between Bill Watterson and Carlos Maglia, you know. And Carlos Maglia didn't use a lot of thick and thin. He used a lot of just single edge line with spot black, so, you know. Yeah, that's a sound way to work. Because I always use the round brush. Up until 3 or 4 years ago when I switched to a diamond brush. I don't even know why. I don't even know why I did. It was just one day I was like changing the shape around and I'm like, I arrived at a diamond. But that's like, I always tell people, you got to find what's working for you. You know, I remember I had a really great animation teacher in college who swore he only drew with Ticonderoga #2 pencils. And he was like, oh, the lead is so great. And I was like, all right, man, I'll buy some of these. And I was like, you know, yeah, that's just a pencil. It doesn't feel any different to me. So our minds connect, right, with certain things. Like I do all of my sketching in red pencil, and then I'll just use inks to like microns or Sharpies, or even like a red Sharpie. I'll sketch in red Sharpie, but then I'll do like I'll draw with just inks. And really it's sketching with inks. I rarely do full sketches with pencil. And that'll be like what I would consider my line art that would need an inking pad or a cleanup pass. I'm not a guy who can just lay down pencil and then do these perfect inks and stuff. It's not what I'm good at. I've tried. I'm just no good at it. Hey, what's up, Itchy? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I got some Sonic in the background. I'm drawing some Spawn on my Cintiq. Life is good. Life is good. X-Men comes out this week. X-Men and Ghostbusters. What timeline am I living in? How crazy is that? And we got a new Turtle series coming. Look, I wasn't a fan of the designs for Rise of TMNT because they look like a cross between Jim Lawson's art and the Turtles coming out of our Shells concert. Wasn't a fan of the designs, but the animation on that series was fantastic. Fantastic. And that crew is doing a new series based off the designs in the movie, you know, but it's 2D animated. Oh man, I'm looking forward to that too. Joseph says Ethan Becker hipped me to gaining line combos with flat round brush. Yeah, I mean, he's a dope artist, dude. Can't maintain that kayfabe that he does. Dope artist. Yeah, but I understand, like doing everything at once, I can't do that. I need to focus on construction and details, and then I have. But what I was doing on this book was construction, details, and then I would do the drawing phase, and then I would do inks over that, and that was like I gotta cut that out. I gotta somehow combine. The inks part needs to go over my lines, not replace them. He says another excellent episode, the NDA Podcast. Leave a thumbs up and comment, because honestly, man, the only way the algorithm shares me is with engagement in the comments. You know, that's it. Even if it's just pasting that in there, that'll be fine. You know what I mean? That really helps. You got to get the algos to work for us, right? Not against it. Yeah, but Ethan's great, man. Super dope. But yeah, I was using the round brush from 2008 to 2017, 18? No, 19. Long time, man. Long time. 100%. Like the Game Informer cover was drawn with round brush, and then I did like a flat. I took the round brush and squished it, right, and rotated it at the end to do like a thick and thin. Thanks, Itchy. Thank you. I have to play that Game Informer cover. Well, I see. I didn't record the drawing of the Game Informer cover. Sad to say. I was nervous at the time. So, yeah, I did capture all the coloring. I just didn't capture the drawing of it. Keep forgetting. But I have other stuff I can put in there. We'll definitely put that up at some point. But once you gain, you know, line confidence, man. Confidence is usually the thing that's in the way of everyone in anything you do. You know, like it's just gaining. Once you gain confidence, you can start to move quicker. you know, or combine different techniques into one technique. Without that confidence, like, the only thing I would say is, like, even once you're confident, just be careful you're not moving quickly for the sake of impressing yourself, because eventually you can, like, parody yourself, right? I'm always worried about that. Like, am I parodying myself? You know, am I shorthanding too much? Probably not, because I'm worried about it. I think most people who do don't even think about it, but I think about it all the time. I felt that way when I was using the ink tools to go over the pages on issue 1 and 2 of Spawn. It's not there because I cleaned it up, but there were some times I felt like, because I was going really fast with the ink tools, that the brush was dictating the final shape, you know, of the art, and not what I intended. Like, it was changing. So that's when I decided there's got to be a way, and that's when I was like, I'll just use the adjustment layers. Essentially threshold, but I use a black and white to posterize a threshold to achieve that clamp, and then I can add my inks as a texture, not inks as another brush to redraw the image a third time. Joseph, even in the drafting phase, just to double down with the confidence. Yeah, 100%. That's why I like blobbing in details and then blobbing in a shape and dropping into the shape. You know, like I can blob in rocks and grass and a tree, and turn the opacity on, draw the construction, draw over it. You know, I prefer to do that. And she says that Sonic illustration, you can honestly play with the same shapes for Ty the Tasmanian Tiger. If you play that game, I did play it. I played all the mascot games back in the 90s because you could rent them at Blockbuster Video. And renting games is how I was able to finally play many games. I mean, when renting games went away, Rob stopped playing many games. She says, I love your logo and color design. Gives that 80s and 90s design for talk show. Right? Totally intentional. We got more coming. I got more coming. I'm also going to learn. My goal this year is to learn Fresco so I can take these logos and start to animate, do, you know, the same kind of logos you'd get on ABC, NBC, CBS in the late 80s, early 90s. Right? I can animate and do those little like bits. Yeah. I'm from the 90s, so that's where we're just keeping that here. We're just keeping that going. We're never giving it up. You know? I don't care. I always told myself I wouldn't live in the past, but design-wise, I'm going to. You know? I'm happy. I'm happy with it. I like the looks. Confidence. I was using a red big pen. Go over the black, right? Yeah, 100%. That's what I always did. I prefer to sketch with like a red Sharpie fine liner, right? And then a black one. Yeah, that's how I do most of my sketches. Which we're gonna do some of that kind of stuff again on the sketches at breakfast. Fresco, haven't heard that software. Hopefully that's spelled right. Yeah, it's free. It's Adobe's sort of like answer to Procreate, but the reason why I bring it up is because they have these animation tools, and you can basically every layer you can have a separate level of animation. It's not tied to a master timeline. So, you know, you can have like my character on a layer, and I can animate him blinking there, but then the TV can be on its own layer, and I can do TV effects, and you know, it's not, they're separated, and they're, you know, it's pretty impressive stuff, you know. I hate drawing with my iPad. They have a PC version. I've tried it, but it was really designed for iPad. Like, they have a modifier tool that you kind of have to use, and you know, so I'm gonna have to basically I'm gonna do all my drawing here, and then I'll carry it over and do my final stuff there. But it is dope. It is dope. And it uses PSDs, so you can just open up PSDs, you know, layer them up, and then blah, 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 blah. I just got to work that into my schedule. Like, where do I start to mess with that? You know? Yeah, I want to have like a bunch of different logos I can just load up every other episode or so and just change everything up. I don't want just like one all the time, you know? And then I can finally get my characters in and kind of like animate them, just have them hanging out. You know, like my goal is to make this place like a bit of a clubhouse, you know? Itchy says, you know, there is a supermarket called Fresco y Mas, which is basically a Hispanic supermarket of Winn-Dixie. Oh, I did not know that. Now I do. Thank you. Joseph says, maybe this is just me, but have you ever been like fascinated by video game cover art? Konami was oh yeah, of course, dude. I mean, I didn't get to play a lot of games as a kid. My dad got an NES like when it first came out, but then he never bought new games for it ever. We had like 4 games, but I did manage to get him to get me a Nintendo Power subscription eventually, and so like game magazines and stuff was like, and you know, the cover arts and all that stuff. And video game ads was sort of my window into all that. So yeah, I always loved cover art. That's why I tried working at game magazines. I mean, I worked at Play Magazine and Game Fan. 2010, I was the art director for that one. You know. Turtles in Time cover. Yeah, the Turtles arcade game was great. The Ninja Gaiden covers were great. You know, I always prefer the Mega Man covers in Japan because you'd see them every now and then in Nintendo Power. Same with Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior at the time. They had the actual Toriyama covers in Japan. Of the 16-bit era, what's my favorite of the 16-bit era? Chrono Trigger. You know, I also love the artwork to Shining Force. The covers weren't so great, but the concept art and the character design artist in the game and the figure illustration was brilliant. Love that stuff. That Landstalker artist, right? Climax. He just says, to be honest, man, I wish there was a radio show solely for video game soundtracks. I always feel that video game music is better than mainstream music. Yeah, man, it's just rights, you know? Like music rights. Kind of a pain. I'm all with you. I have a lot of great like Castlevania remix tracks, you know, where like you get like an hour of different like remixes and stuff, and those are pretty good. Someone actually added lyrics to Bloody Tears and stuff like that. And I wouldn't normally think it would be good, but it's actually pretty good. But I love the DuckTales box art back on the original NES. Rygar was pretty good. Blaster Master had some dumb... It wasn't bad, it just didn't look like the game. Fortunate. Cool game. Confusing. The Double Dragon cover was great, right? That was like the gold standard for the longest time. That Double Dragon NES box art. NEAs had some sweet covers, yeah. The Battletoads cover was great. The 32-bit era had some great covers too. I mean, it's pre-rendered, but the Mario Kart 64 cover is actually a pretty good cover. You know, I wish it was hand-drawn, like, you know, the artwork in the original Mario Kart, but it's still a great cover. Guys of Arcadia on the Dreamcast, that was a good. Yeah, Capcom was great all around. Even the Disney games they did, Little Nemo, all that stuff was great. Mighty Final Fight, highly underrated game. Highly recommend Mighty Final Fight. Not a lot of NES games that still say have great gameplay because, you know, it was limited, but Mighty Final Fight was fantastic. I mean, the Saturn Capcom games are great because they actually put the Japanese box art on many of those like fighting games, which was awesome. Yeah, I was always a big fan of packaging. You know, great packaging. That's why I wanted to do all the promotional materials for Berserk Boy. I'll do everything. I mean, I laid out game magazines, but I did them all retro. Like I did. Even in 2010 was a little weird because I kind of figured out how to do it without retro textures and stuff by the third issue. But I ended up laying out a magazine called Megavisions for a few years, which was like a Sega themed retro gaming magazine. And I made that look like old Game Fan Meets Play magazine. And I did the cover art for all those. We did Sonic 3 once, man, and I put this Sonic art in there. It's in the layout. God, I did that. Highly underrated. B of how late in the game the thing is when it dropped in. Definitely highly underrated. Okay, 86? You talking about? I don't know. I'm a little confused by the wording of that one. NES in 96? Not 96. 86. Future Rage box art was good, right? Future Rage. Mighty Final Fight came out in that. Yeah, it came out late. But it was super good. I thought that was 95. Maybe it was 96. No, I'm gonna go check. I thought it was 95. You're probably right. Nope, came out 93. See, we're both wrong. Came out 93. I thought I came out closer to early 90s. June 11th, 1993. July 93 in the States. So, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they already moved, but I still had my NES and it was at Blockbuster, so I picked it up. You know, rented it for the weekend. It was super fun. I learned early on that just because I got a new system doesn't mean I have to stop playing the old one, right? Oh. Obvious now, but in the 90s it wasn't so obvious. Boy, I stress over faces, you know? Everything else you can kind of fudge, but you get those faces wrong, you're never going to hear the end of it. I don't care what anyone says. This says, I think I had more fun on the NES. Definitely not me. Definitely not me. I loved the NES, but there was just a lot of limitations. Between Mario World, Mario Kart, like I didn't like a Zelda game until the third game came out, and then Link's Awakening. Link's Awakening proved they could have done a great Zelda with a limited color palette and whatever. I just think they just figured Zelda out by A Link to the Past. So Link to the Past is like, if I could only have like Mario Kart, Mario World, and Link to the Past, I would have been happy with the SNES. But then eventually I get games like Breath of Fire 2, you know, Chrono Trigger, Super Metroid, Star Fox, you know, even with its limited frame rate was still amazing. I actually like the Spawn game on the SNES. Streets of Rage I took over. I would agree. Streets of Rage was a better game than Final Fight. 100%. 100%. Not even close. Way better game. Way better game. It's also tied to eSWAT. If you ever played eSWAT, it's a pseudo sequel to eSWAT. So same universe. eSWAT was a game my dad, went that Christmas of '91 or '2. You know, he picked the game out. He picked out eSWAT because it had SWAT in it. He he was a law enforcement nut. So it turns out it was related the same universe as Streets of Rage. Came to find out, like, this feels like Streets of Rage. I mean, it has the same cars and stuff, and like that's why. Contra Hardcore will take over Contra. Yeah, I would agree. Don't sit on the Mega Drive, dude. The Genesis, you know. Shining Force 1 and 2 are still my favorite, you know, 16-bit RPGs. Yeah. By a long mile. I love Chrono Trigger, but if I had to play just Shining Force or Chrono Trigger, I'll take Shining Force 1 and 2. I know people think that's blasphemy, but, you know. Wasn't a fan of Super Castlevania, to be honest with you. But Super Metroid's is a banger, dude. So, it's a banger. And Mega Turrican doesn't come close. And Turtles in Time is a way better game than the Turtles game that's on the Genesis. Just one-dimensional, that game. Sad to say. Kuya says, hello! Hey, what's up, Kuya? How you doing? I'm good. I'm drawing Spawn comic here, and we're watching me draw Sonic the Hedgehog in color pencil. We're doing here today while I work. Top secret NDA project. You're drawing. This is sped up. I did this a couple years ago, so I've sped it up so you can see the whole process. Right. This whole page took 12 hours to do, so I split it up into 3 parts. And so we're just playing old art while I work on art I can't share yet. And then eventually I'll share this art while I work on more secret stuff. That's how it works. He says, my murals have been installed at the games arena. Oh, that's awesome. Awesome. Yeah, there was a guy who had a chef had a really great place in Irvine who got permission for me to use my Game Informer cover in story. He built a whole wall out of it. It was amazing. And then COVID hit and put him out of business. So, real bummer. That's awesome. Always like to hear artists doing well. Always like to hear. Especially when we can see art big. The bigger the art, the better. Right? That's what I think. Hope he's okay now. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't heard from him in a while, so I do too. Yeah, but I started doing this because I was spending the last year working on this project, and I was like, I gotta start talking to people. This is getting old. You know, I was like, well, first I just streamed me sitting here, but the algos wasn't liking just a head with a background. I was like, what if I put my old artwork up? What if I did the speed paints? I just sped it up. You know, this way you can hang out for 20-30 minutes and see some progress versus, you know, real time. When all the real time videos are in my YouTube, by the way. You want to see them in real time, they're there. And I recorded all of them that way because I always forget how I do things, you know. So I'm like, how did I do that boot on a Sonic? I'll go put that video back on and remember. So these videos, the real-time videos, always help me out because I'm like, I don't remember how I did that thing, you know. And then I'm recording what I'm working on now using a separate version of OBS that just screen records. So I'm able to do both now. Stream and record. Stream old projects and record secret projects. I should have thought of this a year ago. You want to work on Disney? You want to work on Disney Lorcana? You know, they asked me if I wanted to work on Disney. I got the email because I worked on Crash Bandicoot. I worked on Crash 4 and Spyro, and Nicholas Cole and John Lauren and Nikos and all them. They're working on that. I got the email, but I got it a month after I started the Spawn gig, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can do both, you know, with approvals and stuff, you know, just, you know what I mean? Like, I would love to, but I just don't know if I can, you know, do that. If I wasn't doing this, I would say, hey, could you put in another good word for me? Because it would be super awesome, you know, to suggest you. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, well, keep in touch, Kuya, you know what I mean? Because, like, something ever happens to this gig, I would love to, you know. I try to be responsible and not, you know, wear myself thin, you know what I mean? But thank you so much. I really appreciate that. You know, I have in my life, I've been able to pass the baton forward and hook artists up with full-time or part-time gigs many times. So I super appreciate that. Do I have Discord? I'm always online or on Discord. I don't have a Discord channel, but I'm on Discord. Yes. Instagram, yes. Kuya. Same name on Instagram? I'll hit you up on Instagram. Yeah, I can't maintain a Discord channel. That's a lot of effort. Too much effort. Yeah, we'll do. We'll keep in touch. Thank you so much. And they're doing some great work over there. Everyone's doing great work on that project. Nice to see real creative looking Disney art. You know what I mean? Awesome. Will do. Plus, I'm a huge fan of John Lawrence. So anytime he does anything, I'm like, John. He's like, Rob, we work together. Why do you look like you're acting like a fan? I'm like, well, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of John's work. And of course, Nicholas, dude. You know, and is Nico Salvatore working on it? I know he's still doing stuff at. I don't follow everything he does. I think he is. I think he's drawing, and then I think John colors some stuff. Yeah, I know he's still doing stuff at Hearthstone. Yeah, John is awesome. That's great. Yeah, dude, John's good. Great. He's just great people, you know? One of the best out there. If I was faster, you know, but I work at a certain pace. You know, pace I trust. But congrats on working there. Super congrats. It's awesome. Reese asked me, have I ever played Tekken? Oh, I played the first two. Love the third one. The third one, I thought it sort of peaked with the third one. Beyond that, you know, I think I bought Tekken 4 on the PS2, which was fun, but I think Tekken 3 was the one I liked the most. Haven't really played it since. I heard the new game's good. A lot of people seem to like it, so that's awesome. I like my designs a little bit more cartoonier, like love Arc System Works, right? What they've been doing on their games, the BlazBlue, even the new Grand Blue Fantasy one, and Dragon Ball Fighters. So I'm a little bit more into over-the-top animated looking designs, but you know. At the 90-minute mark. Doing well. I have a giant head drawn. I'll let you know. I'll tease that one. I have a giant head drawn. Took me 90 minutes to get this giant head figured out. But it's a lot of coverage. Yeah, I'm a huge, when we were on Crouch 4, I was working with John and Nicholas and Nick and Brett Bean. Brett and I got pretty close the last year. And I was telling him how big a fan of Darkwing Duck. I'm a big fan of the ducks, like Scrooge McDuck and DuckTales. Huge ducks. I got a whole shrine dedicated to DuckTales. Got all the toys from 2017. Got them all. Bought them at Target. Raced in there with the shopping cart. You know, took photos, bragged about it. But I told him how a big fan of Darkwing Duck I am. And God love him, dude. Brett sent me a drawing from Tad Jones, dude. An actual Darkwing Duck drawing. You know? Yeah. And so I got that right on the wall. You know, I was like, oh my God. He's like, dude, check your mail. And I was like, oh my God, you know. So see, Brett Bean is a super great person, you know. You know, if he was captured in a third world prison, I'd go get him, you know. You know, and right before I broke in, I'd go, let's get dangerous, right? Because I'm a nerd too, you know. I'd have to nerd up the rescue. Yeah, I love Darkwing. Love the whole universe. Just so good. Yeah, I'm looking at the way I did this background now, and I wanted the background to have that soft color pencil look. But I'm going to be honest with you. If I had to do this over again, I would do the background in marker. And obviously Sonic and color pencil. Then I would do color pencil over the marker. This was a... or you know what I would do now, actually? I would do the background in watercolor. Is what I would do. I finally got a printer that has pigmented ink, so I could print this out and I could do watercolor over these lines without them blending out or smearing. Kuya says, my favorite episode was when Darkwing's daughter traveled to the future. Oh, yeah. I bought those little like capsules from the DuckTales cartoon, the coin ones, and it has the little Darkwing figure in there. So I bought them all so I'd have all the characters. Yeah, I would do that background in watercolor. And then what I would do is when it dries, I would probably do, you can do clear gesso, right? You can dilute clear gesso with a little bit of water or art medium, whatever you want. I usually use water. And you can airbrush it, like thin coats over the background. You can airbrush that, and then when it dries, it gets a real sandy surface, and then you can add dry pastel or wax based color pencil over that, and continue on your work. So I would probably do a watercolor based background, and then with some dry pastel and stuff. I do like the way the sky will... I don't know if it captured this. It should. But I ended up doing the sky with all the color pencil. And it came out good because it kind of had that feeling from Yoshi's Island, right, too? Or Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. You know? So, but I think I would use something with a thicker... Like, I probably just do in pastel. You know? Okay, lost some work there. Sometimes Photoshop locks up while I'm streaming. So save often. I have it to autosave, but I still try to save often. So, but I lost like 10 minutes worth of work. It happens. I've tried to switch over to Procreate and stuff, but I need a giant screen to work and can't draw on the iPad very well. Just not big enough. And for whatever reason, I am like bound to use a keyboard when I draw digitally. Like I have too much muscle memory built into keyboard commands. I've been using Photoshop since 1995, so it's like, what are you gonna do, you know? Okay, so I saw some concept art of Yoshi's Island a few weeks ago. I love those kinds of games. Would love to be part of something like that, right? I actually prefer simple and effective designs over nice with lots of details. Yeah, I mean, I try to find a balance, you know? Like, I think I like bold shapes, you know? Strong shape design. So I'm with you there. When it comes to color, I definitely like using color and texture. Texture with color, right? I love Ben Fiquet's work on like when they did the remake of Wonder Boy or Dragon Trap, right? Dragon's Boy. Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap, right? But it's like I just like you can see Sonic's done, and I'm like, okay, so I spent another 6 hours on this background. Like, I don't know if it looks 6 hours worth of effort. You know what I mean? So that's when I go, okay, if it took me 6 hours, but it doesn't look like it was a 6 hour thing, I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting my money's worth out of this product. What could I do? What could I do? No, Wonder Boy. Ben Fiquet. It's Fiquet. So he did all the artwork on that remake, and his buddy did the programming. He's a brilliant French illustrator, and hey, you know, he was the lead designer on Streets of Rage 4. They did Streets of Rage 4, and I don't know what they're doing now. He's just a brilliant illustrator. He's got an Instagram. Highly recommend you follow that. He doesn't post often, but when he does, you know, it's always something dope. Yeah, but he did all the artwork and the animation and stuff on that game. Then they had a budget with Streets of Rage that brought on more people, but he was still the lead designer and blah, 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 blah. Which says they are making a new Streets of Rage game, but it's in 3D. Yeah, not looking forward to that. I get the weird feeling with Sega is, you know, Sonic Mania and Dragon and Wonder Boy and Streets of Rage 4 showed them the potential, and now they're like, we'll do it. We got it. We're taking it over. This is just me conjecturing, but it feels like they're like, we'll take it from here, boys. We got it. And I really wish they wouldn't. You know, like, learn from what was done, you know, but it's like you're not topping Streets of Rage 4 with 3D models, man. It's not happening. You know? But what they want is, I know some of them said Sonic Mania, well, it didn't make as much as they wanted. I'm like, it was extremely profitable and you can sell it forever. But they want 10 million in sales, not 4 million in sales. Even though what they want to spend on those games would require them. You don't, you know, when you're doing Sonic Mania, you don't need 10 million. You probably only need like 1 million. So you're like just pure profit after that. But, you know, man, you know, studios, you know, like, put the wrong people in charge of making financial decisions worldwide. Like, remember when they made that 3D Final Fight game on the PS2? Remember how great that game was? Yeah, Joseph says he's not looking forward to that Sega Streets of Rage game. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I do not blame you for feeling that way. Reach says, my favorite 3D game are Minecraft, Mario 64, and Sonic Adventure 2. Yeah, I wish they would make a Sonic Adventure game, you know, like at a Dreamcast like level, but with better lighting, you know, or something. Like, you know, they could do that on a affordable budget, you know. Crash was done on an affordable budget. So it can happen. He says, okay, I have to lurk now, so I gotta do work and stuff. Okay, no problem. Hey, thanks, Kuya. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for hanging out and saying hi and stuff. Reach says the closest thing that we're getting to a Sonic Adventure 2 remake is Sonic X Shadow Generation. Yeah, well, we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Yeah, I just think Sega takes their stuff too seriously. They don't seem to have the fun back right now. Everything's like very serious. Where says the only games that Sega are focusing on are Sonic and Persona. Oh, they have those games as a service games coming out with like Jet Set Radio and Crazy Taxi, but that's a big mistake. Games as a service. Real shame. I really love that Sonic 1 3D conversion on my 3DS. I still have that. And Space Harrier and Galaxy Wars. What am I doing? Rich says, how do I feel about Sonic Superstars and Sonic Origins? I didn't really play a lot of those. Sorry to say, Superstars was on the 360, right? Or was that the racing game? Can't remember. Let's see. Sometimes I forget how I draw things. The one on the 360 with like the white cities, the Greek looking cities and stuff, I think was technically not a great game, but plays great now with overclocking on like the 360 or the Xbox. And But even then, it's just, Origins had those, like, there was the 3D stuff, like with the 3D style background and stuff. And they're all right, but they never seem to move quite the same. I see. I was forgetting how I drew something. You can believe that. I'm like, what am I looking at here? No, the new Sonic 3 game can run on main engine. Oh, well. The one on the 360 though was available with overclocking, and I played that, and that was great. It actually played super fast. Just needs to play fast, But I do like the jazz music, from the older games and stuff. So I'm a little, I have my styles. When in doubt, black it out. When in doubt, black it out. Where to add spot black? Always a challenge. There's this weird glitch with my graphics card, Photoshop. So sometimes when I'm rotating the canvas, it gets stuck. Not every time, but sometimes. Or 35. All right. Got 90 minutes before din 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 din. We drawing the dinosaurs. Nikos was always way better at dinosaurs than me. But I'm doing my best, folks. I'm doing my best. Whoa. 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 You couldn't see what I was doing there, but I was drawing this line. I was like, whoa. It happens. It's always fun when you're in the art department, right? Like with 12 other artists, and you start going, what? And they're just looking at you like, this dude is a nerd. Okay, I don't like the way that came out, so we're going to give that a second pass. Did a cable, or a couple cables, not the character, but cables, as silhouettes, but it's not working, so we're going to actually draw the cables. We're going to actually draw the cables because we need detail. Art of D Glass says, good evening, Sketch. Sonic is fireball. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was fun to do. Definitely want to do another Sonic at some point. Maybe when the third movie comes out, even though it wasn't my movie. I love the first one. I didn't love the second one. But maybe. Maybe I'll love that one. I try not to do art just because something's coming out, you know? Try to do it because I'm like, I love this. But I do love the character. I really do. Alright, there's something not working here. I don't know what it is. What is not working about this? I see. I was zoomed in too much. I don't know what I was drawing. Okay. Okay, Photoshop. Do what you're gonna do, buddy. Could we? Thank you. Thank you. New Year says, John Lawrence says, hi, what's up, John? John's great, man. What a good dude. What a talented dude. You know, John's one of those guys that when he makes stuff, it just makes you want to make stuff, right? Right? Am I 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 right? He uses Discord. Oh, nice. I use Discord. I have Discord. I just don't have a Discord channel. I'm Sketchcraft. What am I on? The thing with Discord is they had a number, right? I always forget the number. Yeah, Sketchcraft number 4991 is me on Discord. Yes, so I'm on Discord. I just don't have a Discord channel. Ashley has a Discord channel, and I don't know how she manages all that. The numbers are gone. Oh, okay. Well, I'm Sketchcraft. Sketchcraft. Brandon said he couldn't find me though when he typed in Sketchcraft 2 nights ago. Weird. Weird. Yeah, when John paints, makes me want to color and paint. You know? Super good. And I'm still learning from him. I'm still learning from John. You know, I may not post stuff, but I'm always doing stuff. Still learning. Oh, great. Awesome. Maybe Brandon just didn't know what he was doing. Gotcha. Hey, we're friends on the old Discord now. Awesome. Yeah, see? I keep it open. Thank you. Yeah, I just had to teach myself so many things that it's like when you meet guys like Nicholas and John, and you're just like, oh, you can, if you learn and you pay attention, you know, you can not struggle so much to like figure things out on your own. And you're like, oh, they figured that out. You just have to like, you know, learn how to apply it. But yeah, it was something else. Yeah. And then, you know, you make that stuff your own. You find a way to integrate that stuff into your own work, you know. And John was one of those guys that was like, the minute somebody's doing it, I'm like, this connects up here, you know. I understand. It's tricky though when you come across art like that, you know, you can't just like up and stop doing what you're doing. You know, like my inclination is like, stop everything. I'm starting over. You know, you just can't. You know, so you gotta like, okay, one at a time. And I have one at a time integrated things, and I'll do like little like landscape little pieces here and there, sometimes just, you know, studies, but I'll apply that stuff, you know, how to get it to work in my workflow, you know, like, and then definitely my traditional painting and coloring, you know, like, yeah. Don't know they were. Today Nick showed how to draw lion paws. It was insightful. Didn't know they were rather stiff, especially the thumb part. All right, yeah. Yeah, Nick's a great instructor, man. Nick's got great patience. Especially when you're working with like Disney stuff, because you gotta like, you know, you gotta like keep in the tradition, you know. I'm not always the best at keeping it the tradition. For better or worse. A little dew claw, called the dew claw, little thumb part, the dew claw, right? A little thing sitting up there. Remember when Bill Watterson first started drawing dinosaurs, and I was like, that's nothing like a dinosaur, but it will look great. I always keep that in mind. Like, sometimes it's not going to look like the actual thing, but you're going to know what it is, and I think that's more important. As long as it fits the universe you're working in. Now, if you're working in Darkwing Duck universe, you got to adhere to the Darkwing Duck universe rules. You know, can't mess with that too much. For certain. Do I even need those cables? Do I? Yes, I need. I'll copy, cut, and that's better. The better one. See, Koopa, this is why I started streaming again. And I found a way I could stream without getting into trouble. Because, you know, when we were on Crash 4, it wasn't toward the end of production, and we were kind of developing something else. And they finally gave us a Slack for all the artists to like hang out and, you know, we could like share art and stream and talk with one another, because we were kind of like off on our own. And man, that was so much fun. You know, I was finally able to talk to these dudes. I'd been, you know, you're seeing their art and, you know, you're kind of chatting like in text, but it's not the same as actually being able to say, hey, what's up? You know, at least once or twice a week. And I was always streaming on that thing, you know. Like I'm doing here, I just turn it on. That was really the thing that bummed me out when that project ended, you know. That whole thing, you know, was just like, oh no, will I ever talk to these people again? I mean, sometimes you just don't. I mean, you know, that's the way work goes. Super good people. You little bastard. Sometimes the drawing's trying to get away from you. It's like, no, it's not going to do what you want it to do. It knows what I want to do, and it's rejecting that. I will make you do that. You ever make changes to something and then like the program crashes, and when it brings up an older version, or you bring up an older version you had saved, you can't remember what you had changed, and you're like, looks fine. Like, why did I ever change it? Think about that. I think about that often. Hey, what's up, Luke? Luke Lawrence. It's been a while, man. How you been? YouTube. Hey, anyone on the YouTubes? Look, do Rob a solid. You could just put, what's up, Rob? Paste that right into the comments, and it helps with engagement. Helps spread the word about the channel. Helps tickle those algos. Right? Tickle the algos. Stupid. Should give those algos a little tickle. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know, it's dumb. All right. Duplicate. We're gonna have to redraw that because it don't look right. It don't look right that way. Been all right. Moved to San Diego. Hey, I'm from San Diego. Born and raised. Born and raised. Lived there most of my life. Finally left in 2016. But yeah, man. I've lived all over. I'm grinding on my own color pencil. Oh, super dope, dude. Shout out to all the color pencil artists out there doing the Lord's work, right? I'm not religious, but you know, I don't have a better phrase than that. But yeah. You know me, I'm a huge color pencil fan. Huge. Shout out to Spicy City in Linda Vista. Fantastic food. Spicy City. I used to go in there for lunch and I'd be the only white guy in there, and they just get so excited. They'd hand me all this stuff from the bar, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm eating. You know? But here we go. It's free. Let's do it. Funny enough, your Sonic piece is what inspired me to learn color pencil and buy a set of like, oh, awesome, dude. How you digging with it? How you digging? Tell me you're not over burnishing and killing your knuckles. Please don't do that. You don't need to do that. It was a big mistake I made in like 2001. I did a big like Alphonse Mucha style piece. It was my own version of it. I didn't copy anything, but I did it all in color pencil, and I had all these flowers and stuff in it, you know, and I was burnishing too much and really just tore my knuckles up, and I didn't touch color pencil again until, you know, 2015, 2016, around there. So, you know, I was afraid it was going to give me carpal tunnel. I said I had to learn how to not press so hard, and how to, you know, if you want lighter, you hold the back of the pencil. If you want more pigment, you hold the front of the pencil. Stuff like that. Of course, there's ways to, mix the medium using alcohol solvents, but I don't do any of that because I like the texture. But some people don't. Some people are like, I don't like the texture. Don't like it. Like, all right, buddy, you don't have to have the texture. Luke says it's a process, but I'm learning. Starting to get pretty happy with my color pencil work. Awesome. Are we following each other on Instagram, man? If not, definitely give me a follow or send me a DM, dude. I will give you a follow. We'll follow the color pencil work for reals. Yeah, the biggest advice I always give, other than the color theory knowledge, color theory helps with color pencils, especially like, you got to make a color to get a color, especially like reds. I think reds is probably the hardest with color pencil because there's no good red out the box. I don't care what anyone says. There really isn't. What you have to do is lay down a cool or warm color that you want to tint it, like underneath, or lightly on top. I like to do underneath, yellow orange, and then lay down a red, or pink and, like a light blue to create like a purple. You do have to know how to get to your chromatic, range with that. I'll hit you up. I'm on a new account on my phone. Yeah, no problem. No, whatever. No stress. But yeah. So the Knuckles piece I found incredibly challenging because he's all red. And I was like, I want that. And that's where I was like, okay, I gotta think about this more from like a watercolor perspective, where you lay down a warm color first and then go over with your local color, I'm on an Obama phone, but hopefully I can get a new phone soon. Hey, you know what? Government should be there to help folks. Government should be helping. That's why we help each other. If they're willing to help out corporations, they should be able to help out the average tax-paying citizen. That's how I feel about it. That, and I never upgrade my phone. I run those into the ground. I'm still on my Galaxy S9 Plus, and I will use it until that thing completely dies on me, or I can't post to socials anymore, and I have to get a new one. We're working on a Kratos piece, and this game was tripping me out because it's so pale. Yeah, you may want to use light purples, light blues, maybe like some light browns, and kind of work those into the shadows together, lightly together, and then use like a darker blue, and like an indigo or something. And then go black to shadow when at the very end for pop. Yeah, I would use, if I were doing a Kratos, I would start it's like the gloves on Sonic, you can't, gray's not going to get you there. You got to use little bits. And again, that guy has like a gray body or lighter gray body. I would go with like purple, blue with some warm and cool browns. And I would try to do a lot of it holding the far end of the pencil as much as possible. That's what I would do. And then, honestly, the main reason I want to upgrade is take photos of your art. Right. Yeah, I hear you on that. I always recommend, especially with color pencils, because they're really luminant, they reflect light, is try to photograph them near actual sunlight. You're going to get the best color representation. Fluorescents don't do them as good service as real sunlight. It sucks because usually I do my work late at night and I want to take a photo right then and there. I'm like, I should probably wait till morning. Whoa. Luke says, can't wait for spawn kills every spawn by the way. Well, guess what I'm working on right now, Luke? Guess what I'm working on right here. As we speak. As we live and breathe. I'm working on spawn kills every spawn right now. So I appreciate that. Thank you. Who says, you still working on the art book you were doing? I am not currently working on it, but I will be putting that together. I just have been busy with this book. It just takes so much time that it's like any free time I have, I've been like, I need to spend it doing like traditional artists. I had a few commissions I had to get caught back up on, and painting and stuff. So if they pick up another series, let's say this book is successful and they want to do another one, then what I'm gonna do is just I'll do sprints. Like I'll work on it for a month and then I'll take a month off, and then I'll do you know, commissions or extracurricular artwork, and then I'll come back another month. I'll just have to trade off. So the bigger question I have is, once it's all laid out, it's like, all right, you know, how long is it going to require me to take to ship this thing? You know, am I going to have that kind of time? So what I might have to do is, if it's a big success, I might have to fly Brandon in to help me do that for like a week and get it all done in one shot. So I just don't want anyone who buys it to have to wait, you know. I want it to be all completely done, and then once it's in, I want to have everything done in a week. I might just take a week off the comic and be like, hey guys, I have to do this thing. You know, like, that might be a plan too. It just depends on, like, you know, what the schedule is. But I mean, the way I'm laying out the book, it's not just my art on white pages. It's a very designed art book. Not that I'm using this as my example, but to give you an example would be like the Creature Box art book they did years ago. It was designed, same kind of idea. You know, so it takes longer, right? But I will stream those pages. We will be streaming that. So you will definitely be able to see that progress, you know, as it goes on. Because what other way am I going to get to promote the book than that? You know? Yeah, Creature Box is dope. And that's kind of like how I would like my stuff to, you know, it's going to have my own particular vibe. I've already done pages, so I already know what I want to do with that, you know, but definitely stuff to look at everywhere, you know. Ah. Not selecting what I need to select. Why? Why is it not doing that? Because something's locked. When it won't select, it means the layer's locked. So all you gotta do is go Control-Alt// and or / whatever, someone underneath a question mark, and it will unlock all layers in Photoshop. And then you can get on with your life and erase that thing you needed to erase. Looks as you actually reminded me I was going to re-upload a bunch of art to my new accounts. Awesome. Yeah, do that. Takes time, but you know, it's worth it. And remember, you actually don't need a lot of people looking at art. You just need one person who can cut a check. That's how I've always treated my social media, and it's worked out for me pretty well. That's how I got the Spawn gig. You know, my account reached a lot of people, not as much as I'd like, but it reached Todd McFarlane. So I'm going to do some of that before I forget. I'm sure to shoot you a message. Thank you. Same with Crash. That's how I got on Crash, you know. My art doesn't reach a lot of people on DeviantArt, but it reached Josh Nadelberg, who was the art director at Toys for Bob at the time, and got me hired. Yeah. Definitely send me your old one, dude. Dope. Ooh. 5:13. I actually have to work till 6 my time, which is another 40 minutes, but I need to get up and stretch my legs. I've been sitting a little too long. I normally get up at the 90-minute mark. I just was in the middle. I was so excited with what I was doing, I just forgot. So I need to get up. I'm gonna take a 5-minute. All right, the video's still gonna play, so you know, don't even stress about that. I'll just be right back. Hey, I'm back. Sorry, my doggo had to go potty. He was like, let me out, please. So we did that. Okay. We'll get the big shapes going. We get the big shapes going first. Stimpy. Very Ren and Stimpy music. Stimpy. What are you doing? Nothing. See? Because you're stupid. It's okay. You can be stupid. Takes imbeciles to make the world go round. Aw, jeez, thanks. Spelling a very P-square Cassiopeia third, isn't it? Isn't it? It isn't, but it's the same kind of vibe. 10 to 15 minutes? About 10. What can I do in 10 minutes? Question. Alright, let's see what I can do here. I gotta finish these stitches. There's a stitch line. Gotta do. See if I can get the bulk of all the outline done. And I can work on doodling the details on this after dinner and finishing it with the inks. Tomorrow I just have these 3 small panels to add to it. Pretty easy ones. So I'll be done with this page tomorrow. 2-page spread tomorrow. And then I have not the hardest page to draw on the whole issue, but it's the page that I'm the most. Gotta get this right. Gotta get this right. I gotta start thumbnailing out my cover too. Been thinking about that. They have suggestions for the content, but the layout, I sit down yet. This week, start sketching that out, so I know what I'm doing. I'm going to definitely be on tonight for 2 more hours. And I think I'm going to try and export another new video, so I don't have to reuse an old one yet. I sleep in on Saturday, so I didn't get a new video rendered last night. God. Otherwise, I'll just replay one. I'm gonna definitely try and get. I did this background for the Copic Spider-Man digital background. Trying to get that rendered out. That tonight, and then tomorrow. I colored the green Power Ranger digitally, and I recorded that, so I want to do a speed video of that. Put that up tomorrow. And I need to re-download the Wolverine color pencil and do a slower version. The version that I have is too fast. Definitely gonna pull that down. Restream that this week. And then I got some old Copic marker stuff I want to put up, and then got a bunch of stuff I gotta. Every little day, it's gotta do 1 or 2 new ones, and we'll run those all day. But definitely gotta get the Knuckles. The Knuckles has a speed paint, but I want to get that re-downloaded and get it more at this rate of speed, and get the Knuckles up and get the tails going too. So I'll get all that. We'll get all that for certain. If it doesn't render right, then I'll just probably run the Game Informer coloring. You can't see it, but I got all the big shapes put in. Now I just need to do all the little extra details. And I gotta do, once all the little details are done, then I gotta add my adjustment layers and do ink textures. It just says that would be a sick time lapse. The Green Ranger is my favorite. Yeah, I know, right? Too early with John David. That's so sad. I had the pleasure of meeting my local Cribble guy. Yeah. Look, it wasn't my show. I always felt it should have been animated. I didn't really care for it. But he definitely had the charisma. He had, you liked him. Even I liked him. Like, I like this dude. You know? He had the thing. No doubt, no doubt. Try to be a Debbie Downer. No, man. Kind of held off posting a lot of it because of, you know, his passing. I didn't want to seem like I was cashing in. You know, you'll like Green Power Ranger. Well, here you go. I don't want to. You know. I can't remember if I recorded the drawing of it though, so I'm gonna have to check. But I have the coloring for certain. But I can't render and draw in Photoshop. It screws up Photoshop, even with all my RAM and CPU. It doesn't really matter. It screws it up. So what I have to do is look tonight and then load it up and render it while I sleep. And Should be good for tomorrow. If not, then Monday, but it should be good for tomorrow. I definitely want to print those lines out at some point and do a color pencil version of it. All 4 of them. You know? Same line art, just print it out and do a color pencil version. But we'll see. We'll see. Everything takes time. So, I made good progress on this, folks. You can't see it, but trust me, I made good progress. All right, I'll be back on in about between 2 and 3 hours, somewhere around there, and then we'll do 2 more hours. And if you can't make it, don't stress. I'll be back on tomorrow. And these videos will be up on the YouTube channel. As always, if you're on the YouTube, please just leave a comment, a thumbs up. Helps the algos. Helps spread the word. Helps keep me monetized. So I'll take that away, all right? I'd appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, folks. I will see you all later. Peace.